Good morning, friends. A few of you have posted in the comments of my recent videos questions about who exactly am I and what is my training and so forth. So today I want to take a couple of minutes to discuss that. I was born and raised in communist Romania. I spent the first couple of decades of my life under one of the most totalitarian communist regimes in Eastern Europe. Nicolae Ceausescu was our last president, as you may remember, if you are a little bit older. And then after '89, when communism was overthrown in Romania, there was a lot of hope that we would be free and we would become a more developed nation. So we all were very enthusiastic. I was in medical school in the second year when that happened. Medical school in Romania takes 6 years. And I finished medical school. I banded with a couple of other colleagues. We opened a medical clinic in the capital city in Bucharest, and I thought this was going to be my professional future. Unfortunately, the communism that has been imposed on our country for 2 generations had so eroded the public trust, the institutions of a normal state, and the way people interacted, that you couldn't do anything really, even after years of having put behind us the system itself, unless you had connections, unless you had money or other things to bribe for every authorization or anything you wanted to do, you could not make real progress. On top of that, when I finished medical school and I went into residency, when I sat down for the exam to see which specialty I could choose, because it was based on the scores of that exam. Even though I scored at the end of medical school in the top 10 of my class, the exam itself was corrupted. The books, because it was written, multiple choice written examination, so the books for the exam had been leaked, bought by some parents of students who wanted to get better scores, and they shared them between themselves, so the results were obviously skewed, but nobody did anything about that. So when my turn came to select a specialty, the primary care internal medicine specialty that I was looking for was no longer available, so I chose infectious disease. So that's how I ended up doing 5 years of fellowship in infectious disease in Romania. At the same time, I was working to open this clinic with my colleagues. We worked on that for a few years. It became clear as we approached year 2000 that it was a very long and difficult battle that involved a lot of non-medical stuff if I wanted to continue to wage that battle. So I decided in 2001 to start again, and I emigrated together with my wife to the United States. For a couple of years, I did a master's in nutrition in Michigan State, because I had an interest in health education, in nutrition, and I was privileged to have that opportunity to do that program at Andrews University. And after that, as I was doing that, I also got my board exams here in the United States, and then I went into a 3-year residency on the East Coast in Connecticut at Norwalk Hospital. This is a hospital affiliated with Yale University. And I did that, and after that, I became a board-certified internal medicine practitioner here in the United States. I worked for a couple of years in Utah, and then from 2009, I moved with my family here in Southeast Washington, where I have been practicing. Currently, I practice in a multi-specialty clinic in an outpatient position as a primary care internal medicine physician. So this is, in short, my professional summary, so to speak. I think, looking back, I feel very privileged that I had the opportunity to grow up in a society that had very few of the modern-day inconveniences because of communism and because of the location, and up in the village where I grew up, over there in Romania, except for electricity, we grew most of our food, and life was pretty much similar to what Middle Ages have been perhaps in most of the world. So I know how that life is and how difficult and what the challenges of that life, and living in poverty, literally. When I arrived in the United States after I paid my plane ticket, And I'm not lying to you. I had a bill of $20 in my pocket, and I had to spend that to get an X-ray to rule out tuberculosis at the school I was going to do my master's in. I had a scholarship for the tuition, but I had to find a way to pay my board and my food and all of that. So I know what poverty is and how scarce money can feel. And again, I feel also privileged that I have been able to go through a system where I've been able to get familiar with how science works, how to read a scientific journal, how medicine is practiced in the 21st century, and all the facilities that a developed country like the United States has access to. And so on top of that, as I said, I have gone through infectious disease training, and as well as human nutrition. You know, there is this saying that doctors have no clue about nutrition, and to some extent that is correct. It's not to say that they have absolutely no idea what that is, but their training in nutrition is very limited during medical school and even in fellowships, most fellowships. And so in my case, I again think it's a privilege to have had that opportunity to dedicate 2 years of my life to studying human nutrition and round up my education. I enjoy teaching my patients not just about side effects of medication or what their condition is and so forth, but I really enjoy teaching them about healthy lifestyle, how to lose weight, how to eat healthy, how to exercise, and in general, how to live a healthy, balanced life. And this effort here on YouTube, even though I started my channel back in 2008 or 7 or something, if you go back in history, you will see some younger version of me talking about how to estimate daily calories burned by exercise. And I'm still into that. If there is interest, I will like to post more videos along those lines. But I put it on autopilot, and I haven't done nothing to it until about a few months ago, where this COVID pandemic has become so pressing and so bothersome to me, listening to patients and how they got stuck in all these confusing theories and all these fears and anxieties that the media and the society at large raises about the vaccine, about the COVID itself, about the virus and everything else, that I felt it would be incumbent on me as a health provider, health educator, health provider, to come out in public like I'm doing here and to try to help you, as I always say, make sense of all these issues. And to the extent that I do that, as I always say, I think my mission here is accomplished. Now, before I end, I want to ask you a favor, and that is, if you watch this video to the end, and you would like me to address other topics than what is hot and everybody's worried about now, about COVID-19 vaccine mandates and all of that, I'm going to continue to deal with this as long as they are on the forefront of our attention. However, in view of what I just said about my education and my interests and my previous work, if you think that you would like to see me address issues regarding health education and health prevention and healthy lifestyle in general, aside or apart from COVID-19, please say so in the comments. You can even post some specifics as far as suggestions, and I will be happy to address those time permitting. And until next time, my friend, stay healthy and stay wise.